America in collapse, 8 states, where the real estate market will plummet by 2026. Flee now from these states before you lose everything. Hold on. Before you panic or celebrate, let me show you what's really happening. Because the truth? It's much more interesting than sensationalism. The truth is that the American real estate market isn't collapsing. It's in correction. And there's a huge difference between the two. While apocalyptic headlines talk about a 25% crash, official data shows a much more nuanced story. A market that grew too much, too fast, and is now finding its new balance. According to Redfin, national inventory grew only 6.7% in October 2025 compared to the previous year, and the average home value in the U.S. is $360,727, with 0.1% growth over the past year. This isn't collapse, it's stabilization. Welcome to Keynomics, where we destroy false narratives with verified numbers. All links to official sources are in the description. Subscribe now, hit the bell icon, and leave your like. Because verified information can completely transform your financial life. Let's talk about the 8 states that are truly facing price adjustments, but also about the opportunities these adjustments create. Because real estate market isn't a lottery, it's a cycle, and those who understand the cycle profit. State 8, Nevada. Nevada is the perfect example of unsustainable growth. Between 2020 and 2022, Las Vegas and Reno became magnets for buyers fleeing California. Prices skyrocketed. Entire subdivisions sprouted in the desert. And then, the music stopped. The sensationalist text talks about a 15 to 20% drop. The reality? Realtor.com data shows that inventory in the South and West, including Nevada, is above pre-pandemic levels, while the Northeast and Midwest are still 13.9% below. Nevada is correcting excesses, not collapsing. The cost of living has risen. Utilities, property taxes, HOA fees, and many speculative investors are leaving. But here's what nobody tells you. Nevada has no state income tax, continues to attract logistics and technology companies, and Reno remains a growing hub. For patient investors, this correction could be the entry door that was missing. State 7, Texas. Texas, the giant that never stops. No state income tax, diversified economy, and abundant land. Texas attracted hundreds of thousands of people in recent years, and builders responded aggressively. Now, cities like Austin, Dallas, and Houston face inventory that has doubled since 2023. Austin saw prices fall 3.8% year over year, Dallas, 2.3%, and San Antonio, 2.7%. But let's look at the facts. According to Realtor.com, the South continues to lead new listing growth, with Houston registering 115.7% in August 2025. What does this mean? More options for buyers, more competition for sellers, and a market finally returning to balance. Property taxes are high, it's true. Insurance has risen due to extreme weather events, also true. But Texas continues to be America's economic engine. Jobs keep coming, population keeps growing, just now, sustainably. For those planning to live, not speculate. This is the golden moment. State 6, Arizona. Arizona experienced its boom when Californians discovered they could buy houses 3 times bigger for half the price in Phoenix, Tucson, and Queen Creek. The problem? Water and oversupply. Phoenix registered a 1.6% price drop, with inventory rising sharply. Regulations on Colorado River water use are limiting new developments in several counties, and builders who were planning giant subdivisions are pausing or canceling projects. Energy bills to cool homes in temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius are skyrocketing, eroding the affordability advantage that Arizona had. But here's the other side. Arizona continues to be a logistics and technology hub. Companies keep moving there. And yes, inventory has grown, but that means that for the first time in years, buyers have negotiating power. Houses that used to sell in bidding wars now sit on the market for weeks, allowing complete inspections, price negotiations, and careful analysis. For informed buyers, Arizona isn't risk. It's opportunity disguised as adjustment. State 5, Idaho. Idaho is the classic case of Zoomtown. cities that exploded during remote work. Boise saw prices rise almost 50% between 2020 and 2022. Californians arrived by the thousands, transforming a quiet city into one of America's hottest markets. And then, the bubble began to deflate. Prices in Boise fell between 18 and 22% from the peak. Inventory in Ada County tripled since 2022. Streets once filled with moving trucks now display for sale signs. But let's go beyond sensationalism. Ranch market data from live water properties shows that Idaho is returning to pre-2020 normalcy, with more disciplined buyer activity and caution regarding prices. More quality inventory is coming to market, creating a more balanced environment. Idaho didn't die, it matured. For those who bought at the peak, it's painful. For those who waited, it's a second chance. And the fundamentals remain. Idaho continues to be one of America's most beautiful states, with exceptional quality of life, low taxes, and strong communities. The correction is separating speculators from real residents. And that, in the long run, is healthy. State 4, Colorado. Colorado has always sold a lifestyle: mountains, skiing, clean air, technological innovation. Denver, Boulder, and Colorado Springs became migration epicenters, and prices reflected that. But in 2025, the bill is coming due. Insurance skyrocketed in wildfire-prone areas. Energy bills rose after harsh winters and rate increases. And Denver's metropolitan inventory grew almost 50% in the past year. But here's the twist. Colorado Springs is projected for 27.1% growth in existing home sales and 12.7% in median prices in 2025. Denver projects 13.6% growth in sales and 8% in prices. Boise, Idaho, frequently cited in collapse, projects 12.3% price growth in 2025. So what's the truth? Colorado is in two worlds. Saturated urban areas are correcting, while specific markets continue to grow. Remote buyers have decreased, yes, but qualified professionals keep arriving. Quality of life continues to attract. And for long-term investors who understand geography and demographics, Colorado offers pockets of enormous potential. You just need to know where to look. If you're enjoying this dive into real data, subscribe to the channel now, hit the bell icon, and share with anyone who needs to stop believing sensationalist headlines. Because here, we work with facts, not fear, and there's much more coming. State 3, Washington. Washington built its reputation on innovation: Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing. Seattle became one of America's most expensive cities, and for years, prices only climbed. But in 2025, that narrative is cracking. Mass layoffs in the tech sector hit major companies. Migration slowed. New projects stopped midstream. King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties are seeing listings rise while bidding wars disappeared. Houses that used to sell in days now sit for months. Property taxes rose to cover budget deficits, adding thousands of dollars to annual ownership costs. Suburbs like Bothell, Issaquah, and Gig Harbor, once magnets for new buyers, are seeing prices fall up to 15%. But Washington still has solid fundamentals. The economy is diversified, natural beauty remains, and the belief that growth would never slow, that indeed has disappeared. Analysts predict a 15 to 17% price drop by 2026. But for local buyers who were priced out of the market by speculators and remote workers, this correction is exactly what they needed. Washington isn't dying. It's becoming affordable again. State 2, Massachusetts. Massachusetts has always been the gold standard of real estate stability. Elite universities, biotech innovation, highly skilled workforce. For decades, the Bay State market seemed immune. But in 2025, even here, the cracks appear. The median price in Massachusetts reached $572,900 in January 2025, up 7% year over year. Boston reached $739,121, up 4.4%. Worcester rose 7.8% to $443,717, but 42.1% of homes sold above asking price, and 71% had a sale-at-list ratio above 106%, indicating a still competitive market. So where's the problem? Affordability. Job growth in biotech, education, and healthcare has slowed. Major corporate relocations are rare. Population growth has stagnated. Infrastructure is aging. And maintaining it means higher property taxes. Analysts project a 12 to 15% correction by 2026. But this isn't a crisis. It's a return to reality. Massachusetts remains strong, just no longer invincible. State 1, Michigan. Michigan might surprise you at the top of this list. Doesn't seem obvious, right? But the numbers tell a different story. Between 2020 and 2022, cities like Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Kalamazoo exploded when buyers fled coastal prices. Detroit's comeback was celebrated nationally. But in 2025, that optimism is cooling fast. Inventory in Michigan rose 7.5% year over year in October 2025, with 41,998 homes for sale. New listings grew 3.7%. Houses that used to sell in a week now sit for months. Inventory skyrocketed almost 60% compared to the previous year. And here's the critical point. Prices rose 4.5% year over year with a median price of $277,700. Wait, rose? Yes, and that's the problem. Because while prices continue to rise modestly, demand is disappearing. The manufacturing economy, Michigan's backbone, is under pressure. Automotive layoffs, supply chain changes, and industrial slowdowns are creating uncertainty. Property taxes rose, insurance rose. Many homeowners are reaching their breaking point. Builders who expanded aggressively during the boom now face empty subdivisions and tight credit. Local banks are cautious, making refinancing or improvements harder. Families who bought during the frenzy are watching their equity disappear, trapped between falling prices and rising costs. Analysts warn that Michigan could see values fall 20 to 25% by 2026, the steepest projected correction of any major U.S. state. But let's go beyond fear. Michigan isn't doomed. Its identity remains resilient. Lakes, forests, strong sense of community. The market is undergoing a complete reset, testing how the heartland adapts to slower growth and changing demographics. And here's the opportunity nobody sees. Michigan, with a median price of $294,700, is becoming affordable again. For first-time homebuyers, for young families, for anyone priced out of coastal markets, Michigan offers space, quality of life, and now prices that make sense. The correction is painful for those who bought at the top, but for those entering now, it's the chance of a generation. Here's what apocalyptic headlines hide. The American real estate market isn't crashing, it's normalizing. According to JP Morgan, the market will remain frozen through 2025 with modest growth of 3% or less. Bank of America projects price growth of 4.5% in 2025 and 5% in 2026 before a slight 0.5% drop in 2026. CBS News cites analysts expecting moderate growth below 4% in 2026. This isn't collapse, it's healthy deceleration after years of unsustainable growth. Inventory is rising, yes. Price per square foot fell 0.5% year over year, concentrated in the South and West, while Northeast and Midwest register gains. Houses are staying longer on the market. Price cuts are increasing, but context matters. Since September 2019, typical listing price rose 36% and price per square foot 50.6%. Since September 2022, national median price fell only 0.6%, while price per square foot rose 2.8%, despite a 50.4% increase in inventory. You know what that means? The market absorbed enormous supply growth with minimal price drop. That's not fragility, it's resilience. The lock-in effect, homeowners trapped in pandemic-era ultra-low interest mortgages, continues to limit supply. Bank of America warns that this effect could persist 6 to 8 years. New construction starts remain stagnant, still not fully recovered from the 2008-2009 crash. And here's the irony. If the U.S. economy achieves a soft landing, inflation cooling, Fed cutting rates, prices could rise more than expected. If a recession arrives, prices could fall, improving affordability. In both scenarios, opportunities exist. You just need to know where to look. The 8 states we analyzed, Nevada, Texas, Arizona, Idaho, Colorado, Washington, Massachusetts, and Michigan, aren't collapsing. They're in transition. Some correcting speculative excesses, others adjusting to the new reality of costs, others still returning to local affordability after years of external invasion. For current homeowners in some of these states, the next 12 to 24 months will be challenging. For patient buyers, informed investors, and anyone willing to look beyond headlines, these corrections are doors opening, Real estate market isn't gambling, it's a cycle. Expansion, peak, correction, bottom, recovery. We're in the correction phase. And historically, corrections create the best entry points for long-term wealth. If you're in one of these states, don't panic. Analyze your numbers, evaluate your fundamentals. And remember, home isn't just investment, it's home. If you're considering buying, don't wait for the perfect bottom. Nobody rings a bell. Study the local market, negotiate aggressively, and buy when the numbers make sense for you. And if you're watching from outside, observing, learning, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Keynomics, hit the bell icon, share this video with anyone who needs clarity, not chaos. Because verified information doesn't just protect your money, it builds your future. All links to official sources, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, JP Morgan, Bank of America, are in the description. Check them, verify, and make your own decisions based on data, not fear. Until the next video, stay informed, stay ahead.